I gotta ask, what the fuck is going on in Ottawa? Like, what's going on with this federal government in Ottawa, with these people who work within the government, the bureaucrats, the workers, the worker people? Like, what the fuck's happening? First, we had Arrive scam. Like, I don't care who wants to call it Arrive scam. I'm going to call it Arrive scam for the rest of my life. We had Arrive scam where there are millions and millions of dollars in contracts being funneled through an existing Department of Defense employee, which is fucking illegal. Okay, and yet there we go. It's happening. So now today, it story just broke yesterday. We got in the Auditor General's office. Like, let me talk about who the Auditor General is first. The Auditor General is the person who runs around and checks on all the other bad acts, bad accounting, or stupid things, or wrongdoings, or wrong practices, and wasting government money. They are the checkers. They are the checkers on every department. And somehow, it looks like we got 3 of those people in that sensitive department are running around doing illegal contracting too. What the hell's going on here? Like, I can't even wrap my mind around this. Like, it's illegal. Like, let's just call it what it is. If you're a government employee, you cannot set up a company and start pillaging government contracts for all kinds of other things, apps and whatever kind of vague bullshit you're putting together. I mean, because you're an insider. Now, these people at the goddamn Auditor General's office are the most inside of the inside, for the love of Christ, okay? Like, they are people who are deep in the bureaucracy. They are sort of, when they show up in your department, you're sort of a little worried, and they get to know the ins and outs of every department. They get to know the bosses in all the departments. This is one time, like, I'll blame the politicians for other forms of stupidity, but this is not that. This is not politicians. This is not corrupt politicians. This is corrupt government workers, okay? Now, of course, people like to say, in the end, Trudeau gets all the money. No, Trudeau does not get all the money. These people are stealing the money for themselves, okay? They are lining their own pockets, okay? Here's the deal. In some ways, if a politician was stealing, it might be better because you can vote the politicians out. These people who are taking us for a ride, taking all taxpayers for a ride, they are insiders. They're anonymous. You don't know who they are. By the way, when the Auditor General found out about this misdeeds, about these people running contracts to the government while they were still employees, or when they were employees, they fired them. But quietly fired them. We're just finding out now because there's a third one. There's a third one running around doing the contracts. These are people who are the experts on how the inside of the government works because they're the Auditor General for all departments. Like, these are actually the most dangerous people with the most inside knowledge and the most possible connections to other department heads who they can spoof through all this contract crap. All right? But let's bottom line this. Why is there a culture of criminality? A culture of criminality within some, I'm not blaming everybody. A lot of the people who work for the government are just honest, show up every day, do their work. But there's way too many at this point. There's too many. There's too many people. Why are these people even thinking about doing this? It's a culture of criminality. It's a culture that says, oh, I'm looking over here, and these guys, these consultants, we got way too many consultants, contract consultants in the Canadian government. Way too many. By the way, a few months ago, we discovered there was a consultant to find out how to have less consultants. What? Okay? We have to hire McKinsey to determine why we're doing too much, the government's doing too much consulting work. Consultants are hired to consult on getting rid of consultants. It's insane. But it's the culture. It's the culture of disintegrating taxpayers' money. Nobody cares about taxpayers' money anymore. And when some of these government, not all, but when some of these government employees see the waste and the disintegration of cash and the enrichment of these consultants, they say, why can't I get my hand in the pie? Why can't I start taking that sweet, sweet contract money and make myself rich when all these consultants are getting rich off of BS. Okay? So that's where we're at. We're at a scenario where the employees are running wild, the inmates are in charge of the asylum, the stealing is hitting the breaking point, and we're all paying more tax because there's going to be just more taxes to pay and more and more. Here's the other thing about it. You are less likely to not steal. You're more likely to worry about stealing if you were ever going to go to jail. None of these people are going to jail. I believe that in my soul. None of these stealers inside of our government, none of these bureaucratic thieves are ever going to see the inside of a jail. In other countries, they'd be in jail now. They should be in jail. They should be in jail. They broke the law. They should go to jail, okay? They're not even going to get arrested. And if they don't get arrested, if everybody knows they're never going to be arrested, it's that much more temptation to try it. We got to change the culture. We got to make people care not to steal taxpayers' money.